Hello and welcome back. Welcome to a new edition of Vaughan and Vivo, you and me together again for another English class. Ready? Esta lista no es tan fácil como la última. This list isn't as easy as the last one. This list isn't as easy as the last one, which means that the last list was easier than this one, which means that this list is more difficult than the last one. Three ways of saying the same thing. The last list was easier than this one. This list is harder than the last one, or more difficult than the last one. And this list isn't as easy as the last one. Tres formas de hacer una comparación. For example, English is easier than German. Okay? German is more difficult than English. German is harder than English. English is easier than German. German isn't as easy as English. There are many ways. For example, you compare countries, Spain and Portugal. Spain and Portugal share the Iberian Peninsula. Spain and Portugal. Spain is bigger than Portugal in area, extensión geográfica. Spain is bigger than Portugal in area. Portugal is smaller than Spain in area. And in population, the same. Spain is bigger than Portugal in population, and Portugal is smaller than Spain in population. Portugal isn't as big as Spain in area and in population. In both categories, Portugal isn't as big as Spain. Spain, the United States. Well, Spain isn't as big as the United States. Spain is smaller than the United States. The United States is bigger than Spain, okay? Brazil is bigger than Argentina in area. Argentina isn't as big as Brazil. And in population, Argentina isn't as big as Brazil either. Brazil is a lot bigger, much bigger. Valen los dos. A lot, seen of, a lot bigger and much bigger. Brazil is much bigger than Argentina. Okay, so we can make comparisons between Argentina and Brazil. For example, Argentina isn't as big as Brazil. Argentina doesn't have as many people as Brazil. Argentina doesn't have as many, I don't know, karaoke or football players as Brazil, or maybe they do. For example, Spain and Saudi Arabia, Arabia Saudita. We can make a comparison. Spain isn't as big as Saudi Arabia in area. But Saudi Arabia isn't as big as Spain in population. It's smaller. There isn't as much sand in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of sand, arena. There's a lot of sand in Spain, but not as much as in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is practically a desert. There aren't as many Muslims in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. There are more people in Spain than in Saudi Arabia, but there aren't as many Muslims in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. No hay tantos musulmanes aquí como en Arabia Saudita. It's clear, because everybody in Saudi Arabia is a Muslim, and only about 3% or 4% of the people in Spain are Muslims. So there aren't as many Muslims or Muslims, ambos valen, in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. Okay? Now, there aren't as many dogs in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There aren't as many people in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There aren't as many flamenco dancers in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There aren't as many olives in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There aren't as many olive trees in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There aren't as many beautiful women in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There aren't as many trees in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There aren't as many mountains in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. Estoy con cosas en plural. Trees, mountains, olives, aceitunas, olive trees. ¿Aceitunos? Or do you say olivos? Olivos. But podemos ir a cosas singulares o incontables. There isn't as much. Ahora no estoy diciendo there aren't as many. There isn't as much water in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There isn't as much industry in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There isn't as much political life, vida política, in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. There isn't as much olive oil, aceite de oliva, olive oil in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. But There isn't as much oil in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. Okay? Oil is petróleo. There's much more in Saudi Arabia than in Spain. In Spain, there isn't any oil, hardly. Casi no hay nada. Okay? But there isn't as much coal. Coal. Que es frío, sin la D es coal, es carbón. Se escribe coal. There isn't as much coal in Saudi Arabia as in Spain. Okay? But in Spain, there isn't as much sand as in Saudi Arabia. There isn't as much sunlight, luz solar, in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. Okay? There isn't as much oil in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. There aren't as many belly dancers, bailadores del vientre, in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. There aren't as many camels in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. There aren't as many Bedouinos in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. There aren't as many sheiks, jeques, in Spain as in Saudi Arabia. So it's interesting. We can make a lot of differences. Okay? Lo importante es que there isn't as much as, there aren't as many as. Okay? For example, there aren't as many sentences in this book as in this book. There aren't as many people in this room as in the sound, or as in the control room. There aren't as many people in Bilbao as in Madrid. There aren't as many people in France as in Russia. There aren't as many olive trees in Granada as in Jaén. There aren't as many big rivers in Spain as in Russia. There aren't as many mountain ranges, cordilleras, in Spain as in South America. All right. So, there aren't as many, there isn't as much. Esto dice que esta lista no es tan fácil como la última. This list isn't as easy as the last one. Every list gets progressively more difficult, but little by little, step by step. It's a very good book. But this list isn't as easy as the last one. The last one was a little easier than this one. Okay, quiero que tengas esto, porque significa mucho para mí. I want you to have this pen. It means a lot to me. En inglés, en español decís significa mucho para mí, for me. En inglés decimos significa mucho a mí. It means a lot to me. You mean a lot to me. You, querido telespectador, significa usted mucho para mí. You're very important for me. You mean a lot to me. Your satisfaction, your enjoyment of this program means a lot to me because I want to get you to watch this program, okay? No solo como un adepto, sino como un adicto, okay? So I want you to be completely addicted to this program. So I have to make an effort to attract you, to stay with this and not to change channels, and to stay with me, to learn English, to improve your English, or to maintain your English. Porque significas mucho para mí because you mean a lot to me. And my family means a lot to me. My job means a lot to me. This microphone means a lot to me. I'm in love with this microphone, okay? The people here who are helping me make this program possible mean a lot to me. ¿Qué significa esta palabra? What does this word mean? Okay, ¿qué significa esta palabra? What does this word mean? Okay? ¿Y qué quieres decir? No quieres estudiar. What do you mean? You don't want to learn English. I don't understand you. What do you mean? All right? ¿Qué significa esta palabra aquí? What does this mean? What does this word mean? Okay? What does it mean? Ahora, significas mucho para mí. Me eres muy importante. You mean a lot to me. Por eso quiero que tengas esto. That's why I want you to have this. This is my favorite pen. And I don't give this pen to just anybody. No doy este bolígrafo a cualquier persona, una persona cualquiera. I don't give this pen to just anybody. I give it to people who mean a lot to me. I give things. I like being generous. It makes me feel good. When you give, you receive. It's something from the Bible. La Biblia dice esto. And it's true. The more you give, the more you receive. It's always true. It's just a question of patience and time. And you will see that the more you give, the more you receive. Cuanto más das, más recibes. And usually, the balance is in your favor in receiving, even though you're not asking. The more you give, the more you receive. Fijaos en la gramática de esta frase. Cuanto más, más. Cuanto menos, menos. The less you give, the less you receive. Literalmente, el más das, el más recibes. El más, the more, the more. The more you give, the more you receive. The more water you drink, the less thirsty you are. The more you listen to this program, the better you speak English. The more whiskey you drink, the drunker you get. Is that true? Is it true that the more you drink, the more alcohol you drink, the drunker you get? Sometimes. Well, yes, it's true. Is it true that the less you drink, the drunker you get? No. I know one case, yeah. I remember one case. Yeah. A man, cuanto menos bebía, más se emborrachaba. I remember. He went into a bar, and he said, bartender, 10 brandies, please. And the bartender put 10 brandies. Thank you. And he drank every brandy. Oh. Bartender, please. 9 brandies, please. And the bartender put out 9 brandies. He drank 9 brandies. Huh? Bartender, please. 8 brandies, please. And the bartender put 8 brandies. And 7 brandies, please. And continuously. Finally, he says, bartender, 3 brandies, please. And he said, qué desgraciado soy. What a poor soul I am. The less I drink, the drunker I get. So it is true in some cases that the less you drink, the drunker you get. But usually it's the more you drink, the drunker you get. The more you study, the more you learn. The harder you work, the more you earn. The faster you drive, the sooner you arrive. If the police don't stop you, okay? Really, if you drive fast, you run the risk of not arriving. You run the risk of not arriving. Fijaos en la gramática de esta frase. Corre el riesgo de no llegar si conduces rápido. The faster you drive, the sooner you reach your destination is usually true, but not always, because you run the risk of 2 things. You run the risk of having an accident and injuring yourself or killing yourself, or injuring someone else or killing someone else, or you run the risk of being stopped by the police and being fined, de ser multado, okay? And if the police stop you, you lose time. You don't waste time. Waste is malgastar el tiempo. To lose time is perderlo. So you lose time, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because the policeman, the traffic cop, or the guardia civil, as you say, needs to see your driver's license, to see the car papers, to make sure everything's okay, and then to tell you to drive more slowly the next time. You say, yes, officer. But you lose time. So you run the risk of losing your life, you run the risk of injuring yourself, you run the risk of injuring another person, you run the risk of killing another person, or you run the risk of being stopped, voz pasiva, de que te paren, de ser parado por la policía. You run the risk of being stopped by the highway or the traffic police. Okay? You run the risk of, corres el riesgo de, que es una preposición, gerundio va después, corres el riesgo de lesionarte en un accidente. You run the risk of injuring yourself or getting injured if you drive too fast. So there is a correlation between driving fast and arriving sooner. But the correlation is not 100% because incidents or things can happen, okay, if you drive too fast. So it's true that the faster you drive, the sooner you arrive, usually. But you run a greater risk. Correr riesgos, to run risks. También decimos to take risks in English. To take risks is correr riesgos o tomar riesgos calculados. Me, I take risks. I enjoy taking risks. Okay? But I don't like to run risks. I take risks, but I don't run risks. To run a risk is negative. Nobody likes to run risks, but many people like to take risks. Businessmen, entrepreneurs, certain politicians, they take risks. They make decisions. And when you make decisions, you never have 100% of the necessary information. There's always a certain unknowns, ciertas lagunas desconocidas de la información that you need to make a decision despite the fact that you don't have all the information at your fingertips. At your fingertips tienes acceso a toda la información aquí. Decimos en las yemas de los dedos, at your fingertips. You don't have all the information. This is my fingertips. Consumé con yema. You put your fingertip in it. Tip, tip, tip. The tip of my tongue. The tip of the iceberg. La punta del iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. Es curioso, cuando hablamos de los fingers, ponemos tip después, pero con lo demás no. On the tip of my tongue. No se dice on my tongue tip. And we say the tip of the iceberg. We never say the iceberg tip. But con las yemas de los dedos, we say the fingertips. Y tener todo aquí, al alcance de la mano, la información. I have everything at my fingertips. Tip. Okay, también la punta de cualquier cosa is the tip. Okay, the tip. And the tip also es una propina, to give somebody a tip. But to give somebody a tip también es dar un pequeño consejo. I recommend that you don't watch movies in English, that you watch only documentaries and news. That's a tip, a piece of advice for you, a tip. Okay, and of course, tip also means propina and la punta. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember the name of that actor. It's a Hollywood actor, very famous. He died 2 years ago. His name is on the tip of my tongue, on the tip of my tongue. Lo tengo, decís aquí, lo tengo en la punta de la lengua. En inglés decimos, está en la punta de mi lengua. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue. And I can't remember his name. Okay. Quiero que tengas esto. Significa mucho para mí. I want you to have this pen. It means a lot to me. It's made of plastic. It's not an expensive pen. It's a very simple pen, but it has a very important value. It's worth a lot. Vale mucho. Like this ring. This ring is my wedding ring. I've been wearing this ring for a long time. Okay, now, if you ask me how much this ring is worth, you say, Richard, how much is this ring worth? And I'll ask you, well, what kind of value are you interested in? Well, ¿cuánto vale ese anillo? Se traduce en inglés, how much is that ring worth? Well, it depends. The price today probably is 200 euros, maybe 300 euros. Yeah, that's the price. That's not necessarily the worth, okay? If we melt this ring down, si lo fundimos y vendemos el oro, if we melt the ring down and we sell the gold, probably it's worth about $30 or $40, not very much. But if you think of the sentimental value of this ring, perhaps it's worth millions. Okay, the ring could be worth millions. So how much is it worth? Is not the same as how much does it cost. Okay, how much does it cost is the market value in terms of price on the market. The worth, how much is it worth? No tiene nada que ver con el precio de mercado. Tiene que ver con el valor intrínseco. Okay, and it could be worth a lot. Okay, ¿a dónde va él cuando se marcha de aquí? Where does he go when he leaves here? Where does he go when he leaves here? No tengo ni idea. I have no idea. I haven't got a clue. Okay, Dos formas para decir ni idea. No tengo ni una pista ni indicio. Clue, escrito clue. De ahí viene el juego Cluedo, de clue, de indicio, de pista, de detective. I haven't got a clue. Y siempre decimos I haven't got con esta expresión. I haven't got a clue. Okay. Yo normalmente digo I have no idea. I have no idea. Where does he go when he leaves here? Beats me. I don't know. Don't ask me. I mean, no me lo preguntes a mí. Yo qué sé. What do I know? Okay. Tenemos en inglés la misma expresión que en castellano. Yo qué sé. Okay. What do I know? I have no idea where he goes when he leaves here. But he doesn't go home. That I know. Eso sí lo sé. That I know. When he leaves here, if he wanted to go home, he would turn right. But when he reaches the traffic light about 200 meters down the street, he turns left. And I think it's strange. And many people wonder, I wonder where he goes when he leaves here, because we don't know. We don't know where he goes. Okay? Some people think he goes to a gym down in the center of town. Un gimnasio, a gym down in the center. Other people say, I know all the gyms in the center of town, and he never goes to any of them. Other people say he goes to a lady who reads tarot cards. Okay? And because he likes the mystical things. Other people tell me he goes to a place for acupuncture, and they put needles in his body for a problem he has with the back of his neck. I don't know. I have no idea where he goes. ¿A dónde va él cuando se marcha? ¿A dónde va? Where does he go? Where does he go? Where does he go? Where do you go when you finish work? Do you go home? Do you go to a bar to have a beer with some friends? Where do you go when you finish work? Where does he go when he finishes work? Fijaos en la gramática aquí. Where do you go when you finish? Where does he go when he finishes? I don't know where he goes. I have no idea. No han venido todavía. They haven't come yet. No hemos terminado todavía. We haven't finished yet. No he terminado de beber esta agua todavía. I haven't finished drinking this water yet. You haven't learned English yet. Okay, no han venido todavía. They haven't finished. They haven't come, perdón. They haven't come yet. Okay, one more. I think we have time for one more. You ready for one more? Me gustaría tener un coche como el tuyo. I'd like to have a car like yours. I like your car. You don't mind my asking, but how much did it cost? Espero que no te importe que te lo pregunte. I hope you don't mind if I ask. I hope you don't mind if I ask, but how much did your car cost? I remember about half a year ago, a person asked me that question about my car. I said, by the way, you don't mind if I ask how much it cost? I said, no, I didn't buy it. I don't know how much it cost. But is it yours? I said, well, yes and no. It's mine to use, but technically it's not mine. It's on a renting contract for 4 years. So I don't know how much it costs on the market. I know how much the rental cost is every month, but I don't know how much the cost is if I wanted to buy it. If I wanted to buy it. Si quisiera comprarlo y no alquilarlo, si quisiera, if I wanted. Usamos el pasado. Estamos diciendo si quería comprarlo, literalmente. It's the same in French. Okay? In Spanish. If I wanted to buy it, I would find out how much it costs, but I don't want to buy it. I don't like to buy cars. I prefer to rent cars because then the car doesn't belong to me. It belongs to un tercero, to a third party, and they make sure that everything in the car is okay, and I don't need to worry about certain things in the maintenance of the car. Okay, me gustaría tener un coche como el tuyo. I'd like to have a car like yours, like yours, like yours, like yours. Yours, no yours, yours, okay? Would you like to have a car like mine? Or would you prefer to have a car like hers or like his? Would you like to have a car like ours? I would like to have a car like yours. And with that, we'll take a short break. Are you ready to take a break? I am. I need to rest for a few minutes. But I'll be back in 5 minutes. Our breaks are short in Vaughan and Vivo. Short breaks, because we have a lot of work to do. Okay, see you in a moment.